Minimalists love to talk about saving money, but I've noticed the topic of spending money has a majorly bad rap in the minimalism community. Like this guy, for example, who seems to think that nice furniture is an expensive scam. And I have to admit, as a frugal person, I used to make this mistake myself. I would get so fixated on the number on the price tag that I would pass up on buying things because I thought they were too expensive. But I never expected that becoming a minimalist would completely transform my relationship with spending. Because when I actually started doing the math, I realized how much time, energy, and even money investing in those expensive things would save me in the long run. Especially because a lot of those cheap things that I bought would end up breaking or leaving me feeling so dissatisfied that I would have to go out and make another purchase to replace them and end up spending even more money. And because I've spent so many years cutting back on unnecessary spending and living minimally, that in turn has given me more financial flexibility to spend on things that add joy and value to my life. As part of my low buy year, I've been talking a lot about things that I've cut from my budget and what I'm doing to save money. But lately, I've been getting a lot of emails and messages from you asking what kinds of things I'm spending money on. And I think the answer might surprise you. So that's why in today's video, I'm sharing 10 purchases that might feel expensive, but are actually worth every single penny, at least to me. And I'd love to hear what kinds of things you love spending money on as well. So be sure and drop me a comment down below and let me know what expensive purchases you think are 100% worth it, and if you agree or disagree with anything on my list. So let's kick things off with number one on this list, which is nice furniture. I have to admit, this is something that I used to be a total cheapskate about, and there were times in the past that I would drive around on trash day and bring home furniture that people were throwing away just because it was free, regardless of how damaged it was or if I even needed it at all. And if I couldn't find it for free or at the thrift store, I would usually turn to Amazon to buy what I needed for my home. But I ended up having a really bad experience back when we were moving into this house because I ordered a cheap sideboard from Amazon that arrived to us with damaged doors. And then because they had changed their return policy, I had to try and reach out to the third-party seller to get a refund, who ended up totally ghosting me. And then after that, I ended up having to spend hours upon hours on the phone calling Amazon, on hold with Amazon, emailing Amazon to get my money back. And what infuriated me even more is that I had to pay $200 out of my own pocket to send that damaged furniture back when I knew it was probably just going to get thrown away anyway. I did end up getting my money back in the end, but I decided that going forward, if I was going to spend money on furniture, it was going to be furniture that was well made. And some of our best purchases have included a dining room table that's made from repurposed teak, two beautiful chairs that have been made from environmentally responsibly sourced wood, and a minimalistic standing desk that always makes me feel inspired and motivated whenever I need to get to work editing videos or answering comments and emails. And speaking of my standing desk, another purchase that I don't mind spending money on is anything related to movement, exercise, and physical health. And this is a complete 180 from how I used to feel, because in the past, I was someone who would never consider spending money on a gym membership because I felt like it was too frivolous when I could just do my workouts at home. But then recently, I had a series of wake up calls that gave me a good hard reality check about how much I was actually neglecting my health. So, a couple years back, my family and I went on vacation to the island of Crete, and one day we drove out to visit a historic cave that was supposed to be the birthplace of Zeus. And to get to that cave, we had to climb up a steep mountain path. And not only was I huffing and puffing the entire way, but my knees also started hurting and giving out to the point that I was afraid I wouldn't be able to climb back down that mountain again. And then right after that, my family ended up moving from Germany back to the USA, and the stress of the move led to me overeating and gaining a bunch of weight, which was really shocking to me when I went to put on a pair of pants that used to be way too big for me, only to realize those pants were now perfectly fitting my waist. And that's when I had to admit to myself that my home workouts weren't cutting it and I needed to get serious about my health. So I ended up signing up the entire family for a gym membership, and joining that gym has been so life-changing for us. because not only am I consistently able to work out 2 to 3 times a week, but we also have the opportunity to do fun sports and activities as a family, like going swimming together and playing pickleball. There's a saying that goes, the family who plays together stays together, and I consider the money that we put towards our monthly gym membership to be some of the best money that I've spent in my entire life. Next up, another thing I don't mind spending money on is buying better choices at the grocery store. And this is another area where I've really shifted my mindset around frugality. When I would go grocery shopping in the past, because my main goal was to save money, that often meant buying lower quality items and cheap meats. But what I've learned over time is that lower price tag often comes at the expense of our health. Nowadays, instead of picking the cheapest jam or jelly, I'll make sure to grab the ones that are made without high fructose corn syrup, which has been linked to everything from heart and liver disease to diabetes and obesity in children. And I've also swapped out regular milk for organic milk that comes from grass-fed cows that's free of antibiotics, pesticides, and hormones. Like I said, I wasn't always willing or able to spend money on higher quality products like this, and it took many, many years of budgeting and frugal living to get us to this point. But now that we do have the financial flexibility, it's definitely something that I prioritize and don't mind spending a few extra dollars on here and there. Purchase category number 4 on this list is spending related to cooking and going out to eat. Some of my absolute favorite purchases have been the ones where I bought high quality pots, pans, and kitchen appliances that make my life easier. For example, I use my $200 Ninja blender all the time to make everything from smoothies to sauces, and the food processor attachments come in super handy when I want to make big batches of my kid-friendly meatball recipe. And in my opinion, spending money on dining out as a family isn't just about the food, it's also about the experience. These moments create lasting memories and can be a worthwhile investment in quality time together. And not only is it exciting to eat good food, but we also get to connect and unwind over a meal without the stress of cooking or having to clean up afterwards. And when I asked my kids what they missed most during last month's No Spend Challenge, both of them said that they missed going out to eat the most. So that's why we always make sure to leave room in our budget for us to go out to eat together once a week. Number 5 on this list is spending money on conveniences. I'm finding that the older I get, the more I value my time over my money. And according to a Harvard study on happiness, spending money on things that buy back your time is a surefire way to be happier. Whether that's something as simple as a grocery delivery, hiring a house cleaner, or paying for a meal subscription service. These small investments can free up hours of your week and reduce stress. That way, instead of running errands or scrubbing floors, you can focus more on the things that truly matter to you, whether that's quality time with family, self-care, or pursuing personal goals. Sometimes the best way to simplify life is to let go of the I should do it all mindset and embrace the help that makes your life easier. Another thing that I like to spend money on as a minimalist isn't a thing at all. It's experiences. Memories outlast the latest trends, and experiences shape us in ways that objects never will. Growing up, I don't have many memories of spending time with my dad, not because he wasn't around, because he didn't end up passing away until I was 23, but because it seemed like he was always out there working hard to afford his next big purchase. My dad loved to buy cars, motorcycles, and collectibles, but no matter how much stuff he bought, it was never enough to make him happy. And sometimes I think that in the end, that workaholic lifestyle that he led was just as bad for him as it was for him to be an alcoholic. I think I'm a little bit extra emotional about this right now because this year marks 20 years ago that I lost him, and I can't tell you how priceless it would be to me if I could just turn back the clock and get more time to spend with him. Unlike possessions that collect dust, experiences fill your life with stories, joy, and personal growth. Years from now, you might not be reminiscing about the handbag that you bought, but you'll never forget the places you've been, the people you shared fond experiences with, and the moments that made you feel truly alive. The 7th purchase on this list is things that contribute to a good night's rest. Back when I was younger, I used to take sleep for granted. But after having kids and living as a sleep deprived mom for so many years, I now know how essential good sleep is for our health, mood, and energy levels. My husband and I consider our bedroom our sanctuary, and that's why we chose to invest in a quality bed frame, supportive mattresses, and light blocking curtains that keep our room quiet and dark. Because waking up well rested is worth every single penny, both for ourselves and for our children as well. And speaking of my children, expensive purchase number 8 that I don't mind spending money on is anything related to my children's health and future. Investing in our children is one of the best ways we can show our love and help set them up for success in later life. And that's why we've made it a top priority to put money towards things like braces for a confident smile and special contact lenses to slow down my oldest son's myopia so that he doesn't end up as blind as a bat as I am. To us, these aren't just expenses. These are investments in our children's well-being, confidence, and opportunities. And while it's always smart to be frugal, some things are truly worth the money when they shape our children's future in lasting ways. Along the same lines, number 9 on this list is continuing education and growth opportunities for myself. I consider myself a lifelong learner and I love investing in things that contribute to my personal knowledge, growth, and peace of mind. Some of the best and most life-changing purchases that I've ever made include things like books, online courses, and therapy that taught me how to heal and let go of the past after decades of grief following the loss of my parents and my childhood home. And speaking of homes, the last purchase on this list is my home. Losing my family and my childhood home in my early 20s was very traumatic for me, and I spent so long in survival mode and working multiple minimum wage jobs to get by that it felt like I would never be able to afford my own home, let alone a nice one. But after 15 years of frugal living, minimalism, and being laser focused on our goals, not only have my husband and I been able to climb out of rock bottom, eliminate $250,000 of debt, and reach financial freedom, but last year we also bought and renovated a home in our dream neighborhood, and now I almost feel like pinching myself every day because it's such a dream to wake up in this beautiful home to the beautiful life I have right now. And if you want to find out more about that or hear my favorite tips to help you spend less and save more this year, be sure that you're subscribed with all notifications turned on, and you can go check out one of these videos that YouTube thinks that you'll like, or I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.